stage now. We're going to break away from the stage. With us now, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Good to see you, sir. Welcome to the set. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you. Thank you for having me on.
I know this is uncomfortable, so I'll do the hard part first, which is you were on the short list for vice president. You didn't get it. I'm not going to ask you what Donald Trump said to you. Did you give him any advice when he called you?
Well, understand, when we spoke to him, this was within the first 2 days of when he had just survived an assassination attempt. And really on Catherine and I's mind, there was one thing, and that was gratitude, and gratitude that by the divine providence that he was actually alive. So before we could even get in the conversation, we just said, Mr. President, we're grateful that you're alive, and the country needs you, and thank you.
You must have had seeing him here has got to invoke a lot of emotion.
Well, I think it does for the whole country. I mean, when anyone that along with us was watching that while it happened, watching the rally on TV or at the rally, had this moment of like, are we back at this kind of JFK moment?
Right.
What's just happened? And we were 1 millimeter away from having a nation in chaos and a nation in mourning. There would have been no convention this week. It had been a very, very different set of topics that we'd have been talking about.
The country would have unquestionably changed. That moment, as scary and awful as it was for all of us, it gives Republicans a chance to reset here, right? And to deliver a message. I know that we've heard it over and over and over again about unity, not of party, but of country. How are you seeing that play out here?
Well, I think you can hear it in the audience behind, and when we've got people that I stood on the stage with last fall here in this same arena at the first Republican presidential debate, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley delivering Vivek, all of these folks that I got to know over the last year even better during the campaign, all out here strongly endorsing and supporting President Trump. It's exciting to see the party this united. And I think, again, that moment when President Trump, after the assassination attempt, stood up and raised his fist in the iconic photo of him with a flag. I mean, that is something that's going to live on forever in the minds. Could be the photo of the century, and it could be in every school kid's history book someday, that same photo. And I think that energy from that photo is carried right into this convention.
You were my mother's favorite pick for vice president. And she said that, and I'm going to give a little insight into her politics, because she felt as though you would be a check on Donald Trump. Likes Donald Trump's policies, doesn't like Donald Trump's style, if you will. And there's a lot of Americans, I think, who are upset with Joe Biden, aren't fully on board with MAGA, and we're looking for a non-MAGA person. What do you say to them who are concerned that that check may not exist anymore?
Well, I would say, first of all, I would reject the hypothesis, because President Trump is I don't want to say uncheckable, but he's a unique phenomenon.
Mike Pence did, to be fair.
Well, I guess if you call it that, but I would just say, again, President Trump is President Trump. He's going to be himself. But I think when someone had the experience that he had, let's call it, it was a near-death experience. I mean, just by a millimeter. And then the first thing that he says when he comes out of that is, hey, I'm tearing up my speech, and I'm going to deliver a different speech, and I'm going to talk about unification. I would just say to those people, tune in on Thursday night and see what the president has to say, because I think we're going to see a more reflective, a more in the moment, a more grateful president than perhaps people have seen, because I think he realizes it's how it is. He's said, it's remarkable that he's alive.
No, there's no unquestionably. You said a great phrase there, in the moment. And I don't know if you were able to watch President Biden on Sunday night. At times, the commander-in-chief is the comforter-in-chief, and George Will noted afterwards he failed miserably because he wasn't in the moment. It was essentially a political speech. And now that opens the opportunity for Republicans to be in the moment. What does that mean? Flesh that out for me, of what you need to hear, what you think my mother will hear on Thursday night.
Well, for your mother and others, I might say, again, it's an opportunity. President, the door has been open. He can deliver a message which does unify, and he can be himself doing this. And the reason he can is because the policies that President Trump is talking about, whether it's making sure we have a secure border, whether it's lowering inflation, getting interest rates down, bringing energy production home as opposed to empowering our enemies who are funding the wars against us with those energy sales. I mean, these are things that benefit every American, any American gets a paycheck benefits, and any American that's on the retirement check, they benefit from President Trump's policies.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.